Here we go. That's right. Over 250 CEOs sign an open letter supporting K-12 AI and computer science education. Now, I had to read this article a few times because I was wondering if they were talking about using AI as part of the process that students use to learn. This article in particular did not say that. So I will provide a positive view of this article. If these 250 CEOs are simply saying that students should be aware of how to use these things, how to use AI and how to use like computer science and learning what these things do and how they work and how to use them properly, that's fine. I'm actually okay with that. That would be a good thing. I would want students to be educated on these topics. What I don't want is students using these mechanisms to get through their schooling. That's a very different thing, right? Teaching students how to use a thing is very different than allowing them to use the thing as part of their teaching process because of what we just covered. However, unfortunately, there is a series of articles that have come out where ChatGPT is being heavily used and in some cases encouraged to be used as part of students going through courses. Investigating middle school students question asking and answer evaluation skills when using ChatGPT for science investigation. So here is an actual academic study that goes over whether or not students who used ChatGPT had good outcomes or bad outcomes as a result of educational processes. This study addresses the gap by examining middle school students' ability to use effective questions and critically evaluate ChatGPT's responses, two essential skills for active learning and productive interactions with Gen AI. 63 students aged 14 to 15 were tasked with solving science investigation problems using ChatGPT. Findings show that students often over-relied on ChatGPT in both the question asking and answer evaluation phases. Many struggled to use clear questions aligned with task goals and had difficulty judging the quality of responses or knowing when to seek clarification. As a result, their learning performance remained moderate. Their explanations of the scientific concepts tended to be vague, incomplete, or inaccurate even after unrestricted use of ChatGPT. This pattern held even in domains where students reported strong prior knowledge. This part in particular stood out to me. Students who had strong knowledge of scientific mechanisms as part of their educational background had the same problem as students who didn't as a result of using ChatGPT. Another way to put this is that ChatGPT can take someone who is extremely knowledgeable and make them a dum-dum. Furthermore, students' self-reported understanding and use of ChatGPT were negatively associated with their ability to select effective questions and evaluate responses, suggesting misconceptions about the tool and its limitations. In contrast, higher metacognitive skills were positively linked to better QA-related skills. So that's the conclusion of this. However, just the fact that they gave unrestricted access to ChatGPT and provided a rubric by which these students needed to ask and formulate answers to scientific questions as part of their curriculum, and they still came up with subpar, at best, subpar answers. That is, I don't understand how you could be in favor of having students use ChatGPT as part of their learning curriculum. And they go over all the, all the math that they use, the questions that they use, the kinds of things that the students used, all of it. It's all here. Everything's there.